So this is when we realized how valuable Kilmer is. Because it's host central. Am I hosting? Or are you hosting? Or are we just sharing the hosting duties?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely didn't think I was hosting, but
We're the only two here.
yeah,
Where did you get this?
I used to use it when I was
How have I never seen it until right now?
I did it for Halloween one time, but people were scared at the rocks. They were like, "Get this guy out of here."
Wait, you wore that to the rocks?
Yeah, and I was just bopping around, like walking around, just like.
Where was I at?
yeah.
Did you sneak out and go to the rocks
Well,
on your own?
no one saw me, obviously.
Yeah, no one. I was
Yeah,
with
dude.
you and you didn't fucking.
I wore this to the rocks once. I swear.
Are you smoking a shaboink?
Yeah, you want one?
The hemp shit? I'm good. I got a backwoods in my ear.
Sorry.
Locked and loaded.
Didn't mean to light you on fire.
What if I literally just started on fire?
Try not to ignite our.
My whole suit just started. Oh, I think you're hosting, Mike.
Daddy's home, guys. I had let's call it a sabbatical. A little sabbatical trip to Utah.
The most beautiful place on earth.
Got called, got called to come through. Left that night. Packed. Steve, keep it down over there. Packed for about 4 to 6 days. Stayed 4 to 6 weeks. And not mad about it. Not mad about it at all. I know Huey stepped in for the pod, and was hosting as well with Kilmer, but man, had a fucking phenomenal trip outside of going to the big house on my way out. But
We'll definitely need to cover that, but I think you should probably run through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Run through what you can from the jump.
I don't remember much of it.
Likewise.
No, we were just man, Stevie Malone called me up, and Steve's brother Kevin called me, and he had a birthday coming up and wanted to work on music, and some exciting stuff on the horizon for us, man. I think some of you guys might already get the hint a little bit, but got some really exciting stuff with that whole camp, and just what's been going on behind the scenes with music is. Honestly, it'd probably be already public by now if this whole year didn't fucking just completely implode on us. But yeah, man, timing's always perfect, and I think we're fastly approaching. No matter what's going on in the world, we're fastly approaching where we can share this info. But it's really exciting stuff. So yeah, working on new tunes with the big guy, and just helping on his stuff. He's helping on mine, making stuff together, and. It was great, but man, to get out of LA, it's crazy how the energy in the air, you could just feel it. Because, to get out of LA at that time where it was just very, felt like a fucking war zone down here. Like we're a little bit separate in Studio City, but down where you live, I mean, it's like.
Yeah, when you left, it was mayhem. It was a bunch of shit was going on.
Yeah, I mean, just fucking helicopters in the skies, people just have uptight energy, and felt really fucking nice. We went and protested a few days, and just not even protest, just went and walked with the people that. Oh, we haven't really touched on that. We should talk about that too, but that felt really good to go do that and feel, as much as I'd say the energy was kind of negative overall in the air, just there's a lot of uptight energy. There's also like a pretty uplifting vibe when you're just walking with thousands of people that
energy was super positive.
Yeah, it was. And it was, we were out there for like 6-7 hours one day. It then fucking flew by. Just walking. I haven't walked that long in a long time, so it's really nice to do that. But man, when we got to Utah, just the air was like fucking alkaline water for your nose. It was felt really good, and
I couldn't fucking breathe up there. God, man.
Yeah,
I've never felt more out of shape in my life.
You Foley and the guys came out later, but in Salt Lake area, it's not as hard to breathe, but. We were up in the fucking mountains up near Sundance.
Park City.
Yeah,
Park
the music
City.
festival is. It's called Park City. aka Fantasy Island, man. It was just like a whole different world. You go through those gates and
Once
you
you
go
pass
up,
the gates,
man.
you go up the hills and there's fucking ski lifts and
I got a
man, it
half
was
chubby just thinking about it.
yeah, it's just super relaxing and you feel so secluded and then kind of reminds you of like what life might be like without like social media and doing what we do and living in this digital age. It's just kind of nice. Didn't really was barely on my phone. We partied a lot, partied a lot, but it was
Felt like I was one with nature out there.
yeah, it was a lot of the things that we talk about, just communing with nature. Steve, cut it out. I think
Chubbs,
Steve
stop
and
trying to
Chubbs,
fuck Steve.
The
Steve and
trainer.
Chubbs just never stop.
They're humping each other.
Coda, can you call Chubbs?
Yeah, yeah, just good to see Stevie and his whole
Kevin.
team and share his birthday with him. That vibe was great, and it's you pick and choose your spots when you get to link up with him. He's busy, and we're doing our own thing too. But it's always nice to call a huddle and catch a vibe with the guys. So that was great. It was extremely productive in that sense, but more so productive just for like a reset and just I had like a lot of fun where I really was quarantined heavily here beforehand, and as much as that was a reset in its own right, you kind of just it just felt nice to be around people again and not really be worrying or uptight about nothing. Like, it was really nice. So yeah, went a little longer than expected, but I ended up calling an audible like 4 or 5 when I was out there for like 5-6 days, and I could tell we were catching a great vibe. I was like, yo, I called all the guys back here, and I was just like, well, not all the guys, Foley and Versace. Versace's my guy. I need him just to fucking regulate and keep things in order. But, we kind of turned it into a little bit of a work trip for us. So we ended up getting our own house and just partying, setting up the studio, doing what we do. We've talked about it a little bit on here, but I like to go travel and make music in new places and new environments and shit. So we had, if you were following on social media, you could see some of the views and stuff. It was just so nice to create music in that atmosphere. So we made the most of it. We maximized the trip. Probably could have worked a little more, but like, I don't know. I mean, some of the things we got done,
I don't know, man.
we got done are probably the biggest things we've ever got done.
I think
so.
each minute was spent perfectly.
Yeah, I mean
Zero.
that's you're spot on. That's the best outlook to have. So we had a great time, and just again caught up with everyone, and it was great. But
We have to touch on the fact that you and Post played beer pong against Tyga for Post put on, what was it, an $800,000 watch on the table? Said,
Yeah. I mean, we were,
You guys won't win. It wasn't even that they had to give their watch if they lost. It was, you won't beat us. Here's my watch on the table as proof that you can have it if you even beat us.
yeah, I'm gonna go on. I mean, we were riding a very. It was like the Warriors run when they just like couldn't lose. Like I want to say we had like an almost 30 game win streak going on.
Oh, it was over 30.
It was close. In that ballpark. I'm talking single game. Like we didn't lose a game it was like 3.5 days straight. Obviously we didn't play straight through. We'd like link back up and play, but it was magical, and Post was riding a big high on that one. I'll be honest, when the watch hit the table, I was my stomach dropped a little bit because I was playing at an extremely high level for a long period of time, and I was like, man, it's one thing when you put your own money up, but when you got big money like that on the line, it's just like, fuck.
I was a little upset that I wasn't on the table when that was getting put up.
Yeah, let's not let it go by the wayside. Foley was the guy to beat us. Foley and one of our buddies out here who was out in Utah beat us. But you know what? It was that time. I think we lost like 3 in a row after that, right?
Yeah, it was a 3-0.
It was that time
We played
where
3
our
times.
run had come to an end.
Yeah.
Like every great run has to. So
Honestly, your guys' run completely outshines the fact that I ended it. Like by a long shot.
if I'm gonna lose to anyone, I'd prefer to lose to a gentleman and a scholar. So I'm happy it was you.
Appreciate it, sir.
But yeah, so We had a great run. We won the games that mattered when there was upwards of three-quarters. 758. Well, that's about
Let's just round it
$800,000.
up. Yeah, let's round it to $1 million.
watch.
Let's just round it up to the closest
So I'm happy
number.
we didn't lose that because
Yeah.
that would have really put a damper on the whole thing. But yeah, we had a big party in a castle, literally in the middle of in the hills in Park City. Literally, it's called the Last Castle.
The neighbors are not a fan of us.
Somehow we have neighbors. You can't see them anywhere, but somehow the music was traveling and cops were coming up and shit. So it's interesting because we were talking about like me and Post were talking about like going in on a house out there, and like I would never stay at the castle after further
Fuck no.
review.
That other one.
The other house, we had like a ski lodge type vibe that was nuts.
Yikes.
That one I might go in on with him and just start spending a little more time in Utah.
I need that house.
I don't know if that's the house. We'll start looking around again, but that house was nice. But yeah, man. What was my point at the castle? What was I talking about?
Music, cops.
Oh yeah. We were out. Yeah, that's where we went on our run, beer pong run out at the castle.
Yeah.
But yeah, had an absolute blast out there. Shout out to the women of Utah. Wow. I mean, it's sheesh, there's just so many. It was refreshing because we've been in LA for so long, and there's no shade to the girls in LA whatsoever. It's just different, you know. We had such a great, fun group of girls that would come just hang out, and it was like friendly and just relaxed, and like as much as like whatever. I'm a D-list celebrity comparatively to Post. He's a fucking as popular as it gets these days, and I thought everyone acted really normal. Like none of the girls were like acting stupid. There was none of that.
99% of them were amazing.
Yeah, really, and just really had a good vibe, and the people. We didn't really see it wasn't like we were out in public. Like a lot of shit was kind of still closed down and stuff, but for the people we did come in contact with out there, it was fucking a little magical vibe out there. So.
Me and Foley kind of went to Salt Lake City a couple times.
We caught big vibes with the
we were
locals.
just kicking it in the city.
Yeah.
And then we went to Park City.
Man.
Me and Brian Lee went and fucked around in the town.
Brian Lee, the legend.
So delicious.
Oh yeah, we went to this drive-through place. All they sold there was sodas.
Literally, it's all they have.
All they had was
fountain
sodas.
beverages.
And then you could mix a bunch of shit together, and
Can't be very profitable business.
Or is it?
Like it's like how many people are like, yeah, let's.
I mean,
go
we
pick up
didn't
their-
want to, and then we saw it. We're like, we gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, there was honestly like they said that there was multiple. They were shocked that we had never heard of it before because apparently it's a huge thing out there.
I guess it's a huge thing in Utah because I like Googled it, and it's like a big thing out there. Like soda.
Really, I just feel like it's such a dying market. Like
No, but like I don't know. Not in Utah, I guess.
it's like selling like a VCR store. It just sells VCRs.
But that little
like-
strip mall we went to.
Oh my god, with the Zaxby's.
There was like a Zaxby's. There's a soda joint. There was like so many like.
Oh my
It
god.
kind of just gave me a little slice of tour again, like just being out in a new place and regular shit and like regular people, like not worried about like fucking what's going on online 24/7. It's nice. So, man, my biggest motivation for monetary success is just those experiences, just being able to go up and leave when you need to leave and go do shit. And that's what I would recommend anyone who has money or, your intentions for making money. Less about like what you have and shit, and more those fucking like the memories from all this shit is the best shit.
Experiences are true riches.
Yeah. I actually tweeted something. I should pull it up. Fucks my phone. I tweeted about experience and trying to change the perspective of how people look at experience. And I tweeted it actually in Utah because I was thinking about it. I said, start creating, collecting, and celebrating experience like you do money. Experience is where you find yourselves, where you get your sauce from. It's money for the soul. Focusing on the results too much limits your ability to experience to your fullest potential. So, if you're, even if you are in a good experience and you have the capability of like, you're right in the middle of it if part of you is wondering like how you're going to benefit from it or worrying about what you're going to get from it versus just experiencing it, you're taken away from the experience itself. And I feel like it's just like a perspective shift that young people need, you know. And I just had to learn it through experience, ironically enough. But yeah, you got to look at it like that. And a lot of times that will help your decision making, and it'll help land you in the right spot where you meet the right people and you do the right things. Say yes to shit that, you know, you might not necessarily monetarily gain from, or you don't know how you gain from it, but you go do it because it's an experience. And a lot of times it lands you in interesting, cool places. So that's definitely a cool takeaway. That was like one of our last days there, and I was just thinking about how great of an experience it was. But I feel like that on every trip we go on, even when we've had like bad trips and got like trolled. You know, we've had trips like
We've had our fair share of those.
sometimes I like lost money on trips. Bad shit would happen. We like, you know, have to leave or whatever, or just things didn't go right. But even that, those are experiences, man. Like, and you learn from them.
I was just thinking, didn't we do a trip like recently? What something happened?
Yeah, multiple times.
No, but like recently, right?
Yeah, fucking Joshua Tree.
Oh, that's right. I totally.
Yeah, we literally drove out to Joshua Tree, got a house. We were just like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. Then I ended up going to Utah like 2 days later, didn't I?
Yeah,
Something
basically.
like
But that wasn't even planned.
Yeah.
We went out, drove fucking 3.5 hours. We were like, yo, we got to get out of LA. This vibe is crazy. And get out there. The second time we've gone to Joshua Tree, we saw the same spider. Like, it's most likely a brown recluse, which is like, I mean, if you fall asleep and that shit bites you, like, you could potentially die from it. You know what I mean? Or like, it's just a very dangerous, like, it's not a game. So we went to Joshua Tree one time, had an amazing experience, ended up seeing a brown recluse. I killed it. We left. We were all fucking on LSD and shit, like having a trip and just enjoying our time.
Yeah.
That really fucking sobered us up. Then we get to Joshua Tree this time. Fucking an hour and a half in, not even an hour in, we see the exact same spider.
Dude,
I kill it again.
You and I are like looking each other, literally about to take mushrooms,
Yeah,
and I see it over your shoulder.
yeah,
Thank fucking God we didn't fucking take those mushrooms, bro.
yeah.
That trip was great. We had Dickies and Sonic.
We literally drove 3.5 hours to get Dickies and Sonic,
It was a little road trip.
which
Turn around, come
inspired
back.
that idea of doing the scenic route series of the YNK podcast, where we just drive places that we could go 5 minutes away, but we drive extra long because it's the scenic route.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so, you know, every experience, good or bad, I feel like it ends up being good if you just look at it like you're just collecting coins, you know? Like a video game, you're just collecting coins, and it's been cool. But yeah, man, it was an amazing trip. I did end up getting arrested on the way out. You know, I'm pretty open about it. Like when I go on these trips, like I'm partying. I'm doing, you know, I'm also like, let's be forward about it. Like you have to have the awareness. So we talk about feel and shit, but like you have to have the awareness. Like if I had an addictive personality and I felt like I was in trouble, I feel like everyone in this room would be like, yo, you gotta chill. Like, and could approach me and I would listen. And that, you know, that takes time. And a lot of times when, you know, there's like a leader of a group or say the artist, like it's hard for the people around him to tell him like the truth. But like I don't think I'm that at all. Would you guys agree? Like you could tell me whatever or something. But, you know, I go and I like to microdose shit, and I do it responsibly. Like I also feel like I'm kind of susceptible and like good at this. I feel like I'm right in flow where I'm supposed to be, and like I actually handle alcohol and doing certain, you know, substances and handling them well. I handle them probably better than the average person, I would say. Maybe not, but either way, I do have a really good gauge on it, and I do. I go when I create, I like to take, you know, I'll even just microdose, and I want to be somebody at the forefront of this because you know, Joe Rogan was the guy who like opened my mind to it, and I started, you know, seeing how cool he was and how much I appreciated his his standing on things and where he was in his life, but you know, he was very open about what those types of experiences, psychedelics, and also just, you know, partying in general and having fun, what they do for your life overall, even as an adult. And man, they've been life changing for me, man. Like, you know, we have someone in our lives that, like, you know, it doesn't work for. You know, there's everyone has their own DNA makeup. Everyone has their own path, you know. But for me, doing it responsibly has been both a creative unlock, but also just like a life unlock, man. Like, you know, that trip to Joshua Tree, I came back a different person.
Oh,
you know?
for sure. That shaped the whole
Yeah.
whole album. The
It
whole
shaped my whole
direction of
fuck
the
the
music.
music though. Like, it did, and that's an amazing thing. But like, just how I view life and
Oh, for sure.
fucking going and driving and looking at sunsets and all this shit that I never. Bro, you know what's crazy? I stumbled upon a clip from the 3rd episode. It's called "What It Means to Be Alive," this podcast, and I'm like talking openly about how like nothing moves me. I'm a totally different person.
For sure.
I'm completely moved by like regular shit now. Like, if I see, bro, I'll just like, the most regular shit can move me that I would never even, like, even just natural shit like nature and animals and mountains. And like, dude, I wake up every day and look at the mountains, and it just never gets old, where before it was like kind of nothing to me. So I felt really proud when I saw that. I felt really happy when I saw that clip, because I just saw the proof of, you know, the growth that can happen in such a short period of time. That was just less than a year ago. So that's why I pushed the narrative so much to you guys. But yeah, back to what was going on. So, you know, we're in a Sprinter van leaving. It's funny because like I had no real plans to leave. I was just like, oh, you know, I'll either fly or we'll take the Sprinter. So we're like, oh, fuck it, let's go to Vegas. I'm in the Sprinter, passed out. Versace, you guys took my bag, my big bag, in the other car, and I grab my backpack. We get in the Sprinter. We're, you know, it's like 4 or 5 people in there. We're smoking. Obviously, like, that's why you have a Sprinter. Like, it's a limousine service, more or less. Like, you're sitting in the back, you're disconnected from the driver, and you're watching movies, you're smoking weed, if you're drinking, you're doing whatever you want. You know what I mean? And we're all smoking weed, and from the first half of the first few hours, I fall asleep. I wake up to the door being opened. Everyone out. Cops in Utah, it's illegal. They smell weed. They can search the car. So I'm like half asleep. I'm like, whatever, you know. I'm on the side of the road. We're like kind of laughing. Then they start going through bags, and I'm like, oh, I don't even have bags in there. I'm like, oh fuck, my backpack's in there or whatever. Then I start thinking about it. I'm like, man, I mean, we've been out here for fucking 5 weeks. I have no idea what's in there. Like, we were partying, you know, like, and sure enough, they find, you know, literally one, you know, pill of a substance called MDMA, which is Molly, which is something like I'll dabble with, I'll take in small amounts, either when I'm partying, but also like if I'm on those work trips and we're going on days on end and just rocking and rolling, I'll do. Plus the tings like it too. So, man, I'm lucky there wasn't more, because I remember like, I mean, I didn't buy it. One of my buddies brought some amazing pure shit from LA. But thankfully we went through it, because it would have been more, but I didn't even know. And they found that, and then also the weed. You know, I just kind of was like, yeah, it's mine, because I'm not going to let other people go down for it too, where I'm already going to get it. So, it's, you know, it was actually kind of an interesting experience. I'd gotten arrested once before, like 10 years ago, for a fight. So it was interesting to go through it in this mindset. I actually caught a meditation in the cell for like an hour. But it was like, dude, it was kind of perspective opening in itself. I was just like, man, can you imagine being stuck in here? Like, I had my friends waiting outside to bail me out. I have money. I wasn't worried about it. You know, like, I talked to the Lord. They're like, we're good. You know, like, everything will be good. And I had that peace of mind. But I can't imagine going in there and just being stuck and not knowing, and having no one out there waiting for you. And it was cool. It made you kind of appreciate your freedom a lot more. And also just like moving more consciously of like, I genuinely don't think I'm doing anything. To this day, I told the cops that. Like, me and the cops caught a crazy vibe. We were talking for like hours. But I was like, I just totally disagree. Like, I tell him why. He asked me about it. I was like, this is why I make it. While I make music, we take it in small amounts and catch a vibe, and genuinely don't think I'm doing anything wrong or hurting anybody or myself. Genuinely, I think I'm actually helping myself if I do it properly. But yeah, it was just nice to like, as much as it sounds crazy, it was kind of a nice like vibe reset again. And if you can take everything with a grain of salt like that, I don't know. It's just kind of liberating, because like even shitty stuff like that is just kind of like cool, man. Like, obviously, I'm lucky that it was, it's not a huge life changing thing where you can be in danger or be in trouble for a long time or anything. But if you take these little bumps in the road as such and just keep it moving, I mean, we made a T-shirt out of it and fucking made all the money back that it will cost. So that's why it's it was definitely something I wish didn't happen, but at the same time, like, I can't even say that, because I did come out like appreciating my freedom and realizing I need to be more conscious of how I move in and out of every day.
Dude, we're driving back.
From your perspective,
My phone starts ringing. Fucking Austin Rosen.
you got a lighter?
Sachi just like gives me this look like there's something has to be wrong.
Yeah, Austin's he's a behind the scenes guy, but very powerful, successful young entrepreneur in the music business. He manages myself and Post and a bunch of really successful producers and writers. So yeah, he's if he's calling the line, it's something important.
I barely can get a text back, let alone fucking a call. So fucking I pick up, he goes, "Yo, bro, something bad happened." Like, all right, what? He goes, "Mike got arrested." Like, no fucking
What was
way.
your first thought? Like, I beat someone up or something?
No, I was just like, there's no way. Like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah, because we just
Sachi can probably get some insight.
I knew you got arrested right off the rip, because when Austin called, I was like, all right, something's going down real big. And then I was like, they're in a Sprinter van driving back. Like, what could have happened? I was like, the only thing that could have happened is like they fucking crashed and then like it's a debacle. But the only other thing I could think of was like they got pulled over, because we saw a bunch of cops when we were driving. We would see a bunch of cops, and then they were pulling people over, searching people, and I was just going the speed limit. We were just cruising, and then I saw like once I saw that there was like a bunch of cops and shit, I was like, they definitely got pulled over in the Sprinter. They got searched and he got arrested. I was like fucking halfway through my nachos, couldn't even eat the rest. Like I was rattled.
So mind you, that's literally all the information.
You gotta film that. Chubb's just trying to beat cheeks on Steve. What's going on, guys?
Stop.
Why's Chubb's all horned up? He hasn't seen Steve in a while.
Yeah, I think so.
Steve's like, whatever, man.
Dude, so he literally goes, "Mike got arrested," and I'm like trying to get details out of him. He just goes, "Cops are coming back. I gotta go." So I literally have no details. All I know is you've been arrested. So he goes, "They found something in his backpack." I was like, "You know what?" And he's like, "No, they won't tell us, and I didn't see what it was." So he hangs up. Fucking call Merriman. Like, Mike's been arrested. Like, can we get the lawyers involved? Like, obviously we've never been in this position before. I don't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. So we got that going. Fucking, we post immediately. I post a story with Free Mike on it because I knew it was going to be good for the culture. Knew we were going to do a T-shirt.
My phone was in my pocket on the ride over. It was fucking blowing up. I was like, how did people know about this? I figured you did something.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let that go by the wayside. I knew we were going to do a T-shirt.
Monetize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, could have been way worse. And it's interesting what the mind does, because like, I'm still such a rookie in the whole mind thing, but I really am fascinated with it, and I was paying attention to it, and it, Joe has had a bunch of experts on about it, and try to watch things on it, but it's like a survival. It goes into like survival, like. Long story short, it kind of like gravitates towards negative because it's like trying to fend off and secure and like fend off any, what's the word I'm looking for? Danger. And like I caught myself being like, what the fuck? I'm getting trolled, man. It's like I'm literally sleeping in the back of a Sprinter van, and I'm going to fucking jail for literally like not even one Molly. Like it was just some residue in a bag, and they tested it. But like, and I was, you find yourself. I found myself being like, yeah, like just pitying myself, looking for pity for myself, even in your own mind, and I was able to check it. I was able to check it in real time. It was pretty interesting. I'm good. I was pretty interesting, but I think that's like a cool thing to just try to think about in your life when all like just regular shit goes wrong in your day. Your girl's chirping you, or your mom's not on your wave, and things are going wrong in the real world. And
How did Mary take your arrest? Speaking of which,
fucking
like a champ.
with a fucking just like we have a great relationship. Like back in like she's kind of a worrier, like a regular like Northeast mom, and she like her and my dad. My dad always a little more laid back and like kind of saucy. Was a wild motherfucker when he was young, kind of, so gets it. But they're just. I'm a grown ass man now. Like I feel like I'm 21, but I'm fucking. You know what I mean? I'm 10 years older than that. Like I'm an adult, so like it's interesting because I don't even feel like that. I still feel like that's my mom, and I like gotta be, But like,
I think we all do forever.
yeah, maybe I guess you just don't want to disappoint them. But I just told them straight up what happened, and they're already on. Like, if you told me like 8 years ago, I could like tell my mom like, yeah, dude, I do drugs and I do it responsibly, and this is how and this is why, and she was cool with it. I'd be like, what? But she is, and then I get it, and they see what I'm doing with my life. You know what I mean? If they come and see me and now that I'm healthy and I'm not fucking, going down a bad path or anything, and they've been able to trust me, so they were cool with it. But I mean, if she knew about it right out of the gate, I think she would have been more rattled. Like I was able to talk to her as I'm out, and I'm already,
Blue called me and was like, "Yo, you should probably take down the free Mike thing."
he knows the deal.
Like, dude, if Mike's parents see that.
Yeah, they'd be rattled.
So I archived it until after you were free.
Yeah. Interesting. Going out with a bang, I would call it. Went out with a bang. Literally the bang of the prison doors closing. But
Went out with a clang.
Went out with a clang. Make the t-shirt, guys. But yeah, then went to Vegas. Lost a swift $5,000 in about 25 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? Today's not my day. I was doubling down on like, when you get cold for a while and you're like, turns around, you ride it out, you get hot. I'm coming in out of jail, like felt like I didn't deserve it really. So I'm like, that was bad luck. I'm gonna go down there and test my luck. Got my ass kicked. Got my absolute ass kicked down there, so.
We were gonna stop at the casino too on the way back, but we saw the coronavirus stats and they were like
You just got tested. You just got tested, didn't you?
Yeah, sure did.
You're negative?
I'm positively negative. Yeah, I'm negative.
I'm gonna get one on
I'm
Wednesday.
very positive about the fact that I'm negative.
Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna get one. But
yeah,
I already have it.
Close counters with some people more than I was.
Yeah, but dude, we shared blunts the entire time. You would have it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, it's probably the most direct way of like outside of us making out. It's more or less It's more or less the fucking same thing. You know what I mean? It's exchange of saliva.
We could probably edit this part out, but are we going to talk about your kiss in Utah?
Yeah, I don't think we can talk about it. Actually, Post would be like, tell him. If you're not gay, tell him. Yeah, we can edit it out. Should we? Probably, it's not our business to tell.
Let's just move. Let's just move past. This can stay in.
What else? What else did we want to touch on?
Oh man, I'm a fucking insane shooter.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
How are we on time right now?
Sniper
What are we at?
Steve.
Pisser time?
11 minutes.
35 minutes. Okay, let's rock for a little bit more.
Tea break?
It's what else did I want to say?
Ooh, do you want to talk about the fact that there's new music coming out in?
Yeah. So when this
By this drops, it'll be like 2 weeks.
do you confirm with Chelsea?
Yeah, I did.
Great. Yeah. So
The 24th.
the 24th. Yeah. So
It'll be 2 weeks from this Friday.
we got a new tune coming. We got a lot of fucking music, man. It's all It's gonna roll. I mean, this would have already been out. Our original schedule, this would have already been out, but you know, the world is just dealing with a lot of shit, and it's not. Just feels distasteful to be making songs about like, or not making songs, but putting songs out, and you know, obviously this has been a big play for us, and like this is this is going to be a slow rollout into what's really going on and what this deal is, and you know, just the album, etc. But yeah, like it just feels a little weird to be putting shit out and like even putting energy into that when the whole world is fighting for, you know, a bigger cause and shit. So yeah, the music, what's the date? The 24th?
Yes, sir.
New song, Been Thinking. It's a great vibe. I think it's right down the middle of this new sound. You know, all of it is. Two Birds is too, but like this is like encompassing a little of this country vibe that I was talking about, just even musically and like the way it makes you feel and shit. Mix, you know, with who mixed with the urban side or whatever you want to call it, just like, you know, having a hip hop influence, combining those two. I think it's a really cool song. I think it sets it's a great table setter for where it's going. Me and the big guy Stevie Malone got a few records together that I think are amazing.
The one you did in Utah is fucking impeccable.
Yeah, it's a big one. So
Smash.
obviously you guys listening know, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably know this is a huge opportunity for us. And honestly, we've had songs together for a long time, but it's another thing to like make songs, and it's a whole other thing to like be at the point where we are, where it's like they're gonna start, you know, we're doing the business for them, and they're gonna see the light of day, and it's just my first shot at like, you know, real mainstream looks and shit like that. So it's exciting. We're excited, but it's also like, it's kind of interesting because I kind of been chasing the music dream for so long, and it's like, it's kind of a life lesson in this. I've been chasing it for a while now. I mean, we've been putting it on. It's going to be, by the time it pops off, it's going to be a decade in. Yep. Which, you know, obviously music, but like I'm talking like publicly releasing music for like a decade. You know, granted I got a really late start, but like music is a journey, and I understand that. But it's interesting now, like not that it's not as special or anything. It's just like my values have changed, and like it's not like it's the highest pinnacle for me to like be a super popular musician like it once was, if that makes any sense. It's just like it's like it feels like we're ready for it. It's not what I thought it would feel like, I guess. If you told me I had, you know, a song or songs with like the biggest artists in the world and gonna go and do a bunch of stuff, you know, like I would have thought that was like, you know, just so unbelievably invigorating and exciting. And it is, but I'm just saying, like, it's interesting, you know, when you get there, it's never really what you think it's gonna feel like.
Because it feels like part of the journey.
Yeah, it's like if you go back to what Closer was, what that said, like, this is it. It's just like, it's just everything's part of the journey, and when everything's happening at the right time, then yeah, you're supposed to feel like you belong there when you get there, because you did the work, you know. And I feel like I belong there now. But back then, you know, I wasn't ready, and then looking at it up the mountain, I'm like, man, what would it feel like to be up there, you know? And it's just how it is. But nonetheless, it's a fucking exciting time to be a Steve, and I'm pretty open about it online, but it's just super thankful for you guys getting us here, because for us to do it and sustain it and like I had to live in this house and like be cool enough and be on enough and be successful enough to even like be here. As much as it's not like to be in the room with these guys and like how it feels and how it got done and how we got here. Like you're the grassroots support was like the backbone of it all.
You had to break your Rolex to realize you didn't want one.
Yeah, had to get one. Had to be able to get one first.
Facts.
And so that's just why it's a huge. All of it is trying to just give back to y'all as much as we can. I think that's why this podcast exists. But I mean, fuck, it helps us just talk through shit and it's fun for us. But yeah, super thankful, man. I'm gonna pay it forward as much as I can. I think we all will.
Speaking of giving it back to the people, Chug Bud drop around the corner.
Yeah.
Date TBD, but we're gonna have them fucking firing.
Yeah, I mean, even Chug Bud's been. We would have been further along on this timeline we had, but
Obviously, the whole fucking world has been
exactly.
shut down.
Everyone's been on.
No one's manufacturing.
Everyone's been on
anything.
pause. So we're no different than anyone else. But the fucking Chug Bud's like turning the corner now, where it's like out of the house. We are gonna be able to mass produce. I mean, steps to mass production, but taking a big step forward in production. And it's out of our hair, so we're not the guys fucking scratching and clawing to get them done and get them done properly and out in the right time, etc. So it was really hard. I mean, it was a really fun journey, but it was just a lot of like fucking hands-on work.
We're not a logistics company.
We're not a logistics company, so nice to be out of the logistics and. We're really working some cool business shit out. The business of the whole company is in a great place. So, yeah, I think we're gonna fucking kill it with Chuck. But I have a really strong feeling about it, and you guys have been killing it for us. So it's coming soon. I mean, by the time this podcast drops, it probably will drop with this podcast or very close.
I would say probably within 2 weeks from today. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Probably closer to a week, if I had to guess.
From the day this would be airing.
From like, yeah. Maybe sooner. I'd say 2 weeks at the absolute maximum.
Yeah. So, big thanks to everybody. We'll want to take a little pee break, and then we'll start back up.
We'll be right back with You Never Know, You Know What I Mean, right after this urination break.
All right, so as we're adapting to this changing world that we're living in, commerce is changing fast as well. More and more people are buying stuff online, and it's happening fast. So if you are in e-commerce and you're selling something, it's important to be able to not only meet the new demands, but be able to do it in a way that's actually manageable for you, even at a small scale business. We actually use ShipStation. We've been using it. We do a lot of e-commerce, and it's really dope because it's just a fully functional interface. Essentially, like if you're selling on Amazon or Etsy, it doesn't matter, right? It all puts it in one marketplace that you can manage. And also, like, it works with all the major carriers. So mail, it doesn't matter who you get your mail or do your mail with. ShipStation works cohesively with it. It's just the fastest, easiest way, most affordable way to manage and ship your orders. So they're sponsoring the podcast. They're Steve's. And they're offering a cool thing for you guys. So any of you guys, the YNK listeners, can try ShipStation free for 60 days when you use the offer code YNK. And again, I think if you give it a whirl and you get going with it, you'll see that it's actually making it very doable, even if you're just starting out. So go over to ShipStation.com, click the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in YNK and you get started. All right, whether you're working from home or you're working on your fitness, or you're just going throughout your day-to-day life, I think music is a big part of people's lives, and earbuds are actually a big factor, especially in days like today where you're sharing space with people. You might be in the house or in the workspace. Earbuds are actually a real factor. So the Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of the other premium wireless earbuds on the market, but they sound just as amazing. So I think that's pretty cool, especially in times like today where, spending your money there's a bit more caution. So their newest model is the Everyday E25 earbuds. The best ones yet, 6 hours of playtime, Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a compact design. It gives you a noise isolating fit. Sounds dope. So we're doing a call to action with them. Now's the time to go get it. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/YNK. That's buyraycon, RAYCON.com/YNK. Get over there and try them out. We love it.
King of the trees, I'm the tree myself.
I am Chuck Bud.
I am Utah. I am Utah.
I am Utah.
Foley thought he was Utah. Then he almost...
I almost killed you.
Yeah, how about that photo you guys took, huh?
Dude, so we shoot fucking... Foley's never shot this fucking thing in his life. We're in Utah, so he goes and gets it. I've been getting some weird texts lately, man.
Time for a new number?
Probably. Yeah, so we got like... What are they technically? That's not archery. It's like...
It's a crossbow.
Crossbow, yeah.
Crossbow, because he's weak.
Yeah, and like he's like, "Yo, take a picture of me." Like he's probably shot it like 5 times. I'm like, "Cool." He like turns and like shoot and like literally is aiming at it. Like I'm like, "Oh, there's no way he's aiming at it and there's a fucking arrow in there." Like I'm sure we're.
The safety.
So I just
was
take the
on.
picture and then I'm like, and then Versace's like, "Geez, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, he's like the safety's on."
The safety
and I'm
was
like, "Wait,
on,
you have a fucking
and-
bow in there?" Like it was like loaded up.
He had the
And
arrow.
my figure wasn't on the trailer.
Then to add insult to injury, literally
30
it didn't
seconds
ever.
later.
It broke. It didn't ever. It didn't ever shoot after that. It was like jammed.
Yeah, the fucking.
And then Versace's like, "What'd you say?" Like if
the string literally
Yeah, so
snapped.
the thing was fucking jammed, and then I went and like grabbed it, and it was literally cutting itself like little by little. So
dude, if you shot me
so
with that
like
fucking
5
thing,
minutes later, what the fuck's going on over there?
these guys are fucking just rubbing on each other, just feeling each other out.
But
Literally.
yeah, if that photo would have been like 5 minutes after that, the fucking
So you
the
would've
little string
decapitated me with a
would've
crossbow?
snapped, and then the crossbow would have shot straight into your face.
I don't know.
He was aiming it right at it.
Can you imagine?
Oh well,
Yeah, let's just leave that one where it is. But yeah.
Yeah, it's safe to say I didn't take a gun safety course or anything
yeah,
like
no,
that.
he didn't.
I just can't believe you turned and like aimed it at me. I was like, "What's he doing?"
Well, the safety was on my finger.
Thought
was
you were
on the
like,
trigger.
he's like, take a picture. Thought you were just gonna be like aiming off into the distance.
Oh, look, honey, take a picture. Crossbow, I'm dead.
Look, honey, I'm dead. I'm dead. But yeah, we made it out alive. A few bumps and bruises and a few charges, but we lived to see another day.
Fucking Utah, man. What a place.
Yeah, great place.
Can we go back? Like right now? We just get in the car and drive?
Post hit me to come back.
Dude, that van, I ran through some serious mileage
Oh
with that
my god,
van.
we got to talk about that.
That van is the most legendary thing in the
And we were
world.
bussing girls in
I
on
guarantee you the rental company, like when I returned that van back, they were probably like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
Yo, what the fuck?
The van
is
had so many like miles on it, we were just running it up, but obviously unlimited miles, but still.
Sachi was the guy who was going down and bussing the girls into the house. When I say bussing, I mean minivanning.
I would tell them all meet at the bottom of the hill. They'd all get there, probably like a group of like 10 to 20 chicks, and then I would literally throw them all in the back of the van, huddle them up in there, and then just drive them up to the spot.
See, like LA girls would be like, "A fucking minivan? The fuck? What is this?
I was like, all
What
right,
kind of fucking
ladies,
party is this?"
get in the van, let's go, we're going up.
These girls were fucking going up for the ride of their lives.
Oh man, that guy at the gate, he was probably getting sick.
Probably thought you were the biggest legend ever.
Because every time I'd go past there, he'd have to wave.
He's
me
like,
by.
"Who is this guy?"
He'd have to wave me by to like open up the gates every time. Like the van just loaded with girls, legends.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to touch on is we took a break from the podcast out of just respect what was going on, but we never really touched on like just the overall thing that's going on. Black Lives Matter, and the whole thing's been heavily politicized. I just burned myself with an ember. Fuck.
So what happens when you don't pass it, Steve?
heavily politicized. I didn't know I thought you have 2 fucking J's in your ear. Or you did. You smoked them all?
I got one.
Sick bastard. I just don't like J's. So I'm not going to share that with you. You know what I mean?
I don't want to share with you either.
Yeah. Both sides are like heavily politicized, but I thought should be something said from us just so you know where we stand, but I think you guys know where we stand, but there's just like a right and a wrong. Doesn't matter what side you are on you know, when it comes to policy or, you know, how people, I don't judge people for how they think, or you just got to try not to judge people too much by how they're programmed, because a lot of it was out of their control. And people are clearly are victims of that. To still be in this day and age this blind to the fact that people aren't lesser because they're, you know, a different skin tone. It's crazy to see it in real time, because I was actually pretty naive to it. It's just like, you know, there's kind of this common theme of like, oh, like all the racists like that are dying with this generation. Like our parents' generation was like that last like group of people who kind of lived through like where being racist was like actually part of society. And I think we're wrong, because there's clearly racism, full-blown racism still operating and still fully functional right in our own backyards. And you know, people have talked about this a bunch, you know, but it's like, man, we gotta be able to draw the line and like just kind of open our eyes to what's right and what's wrong. Like, think about it. Like, anyone listening who thinks that like, you know, black people are lesser or just people who are different, any minorities, whatever, right? And I just ask you to like go back to like the beginning of how you thought that to be true, and like where that started, right? And then just like apply like logic to your everyday life to the same situation. Like, so if every, you know, if one bad, like you have, you know, there are bad cops, right? You can't think that every cop is a bad cop because you've had bad experiences with a bad cop. Like your personal experience or your personal viewpoints, like you have to be able to break down those walls and be like, do I really think all black people, I hate all black people, or I hate I hate all cops? Like, you can't blanket statement anything or anybody nowadays at all. Like, you know, so it's like the actual terms and like the actual foundation that racism is standing on is like, it's faulty, man. Like, just look at it. There's no way you really think because someone has darker skin that they're lesser. There's no way you really think that. Like, and if you do, you just have to like challenge that, because it's just so dated and old, and like you're clearly been programmed really wrong. And a lot of that isn't your fault, but you got to be able to like, I think that's how you actually can make a change with this generation. Like, have articulate conversations about it and like just challenge yourself. If self-reflection and meditation, all this thing is becoming more and more cool to talk about, self-reflection is going to happen, and it needs to happen. And I think just the self-awareness of like, wait, do I really think that all Hispanics should go home and they don't belong here, and that their feelings aren't the same as mine, and they don't deserve the same things I get? Like, if you really think that, man, I feel really bad for you. Like, I pity you. And it's not, I think if we could both kind of, if everyone could kind of just take that stance a little bit and just almost feel bad for them for being so misguided, that compassion could maybe like make a bridge where we can start fixing it. Because there's clearly people, just young people, that really believe, you know, that there's superiorities amongst race, and it's sad, but it has, you know, the way it's going to change is being able to just kind of like, are you really evaluate yourself and evaluate how you think. Chubbs is really fucking Steve right now.
We got
right
a
in front of
beautiful
me.
little interracial
And,
couple
and
right
the
here.
weird thing is, Steve's looking right at me the whole time. Chubbs, get out of there. What are you doing, bro? Steve, I mean, you guys can love wherever you want to love.
Steve rattled.
Blue said, "Wait, we gotta stop this."
You ever dive into Rick and Morty?
That's serious.
You ever dove into Rick and Morty?
Great show.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. I haven't watched it enough.
Rick
Though.
and Morty
Where's
got
my-
found.
Rattlesnake Galactica.
You got a lighter?
They go to like a snake planet, and they realize that there's a whole war going on. They're like, what are they fighting about? It's like it's a race war. Like, wow, can you imagine fighting over being a different colored snake?
It's that stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, like, yo, I'm sure, like, I have fans all over the place. I'm sure some of you, like, there are some people that are racist. Maybe they're not listening to the podcast because I feel like we're not necessarily, like, aligned with how we think with, like, people who are racist. But if you are, I'm not even challenging you. I'm not even talking shit. I'm just like, dude, do you really think that? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
They should go watch that Joe Rogan podcast where he has that black guy, the musician that like turns KKK members. You seen?
Oh
that?
yes.
Like if you're
What's
even
his
like
name?
yeah, just if you look up Joe Rogan KKK black guy, I'm sure it'll pop up.
Yeah.
But like if you're even like remotely racist, even in this place, you have to think about if you're racist. You should watch it.
You gotta pride yourself on, and this generation is priding themselves on like being, you know, we're living in this world where like evolution is happening so fast. Like our parents and their parents, they lived in much slower paced time. So like you gotta pride yourself on just being able to change and evolve. That's like the best part of being alive, man. It keeps you fresh. And if you're racist, like, if your parents are racist, like, look, you don't have to fucking fight them, and you know, you should definitely tell them how you feel, you know, and I would hope that, but like, it doesn't. I'm not saying it has to be confrontational on every level. I mean, obviously there has to be a certain level of confrontation on the front lines of this movement, and everyone's standing up and doing that. But yeah, man, you just gotta be able to like look at it and just be like, what the fuck am I? What are we really doing here? You know, we're all on this fucking planet, and it's like, I can't believe that people are really still in belief that like, you know, these trivial things matter. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to address it. I'm not. I've actually said on this podcast before, like, I don't vote, you know, and I remember as soon as this shit started happening, I was like, oh, I already have changed my mind on that. Like, I need to vote, and I need to. It does come from a place of privilege. I connect with that, where it's just like, yeah, it's not affecting me, and like I've been lucky enough to, you know, make money. I'm not necessarily so impacted by everything the administration is putting in place, because it's just like I'm just doing what I do. But in regards to, you know, just voting and doing what you can, like, you got to, man. You got to, especially when you know there's problems. So I was definitely like naive to it, and from a place of privilege in that sense. But again, like just what I just said, like, it's cool to change your mind, man. You don't have to like Gary Vee says this shit all the time. It's cool to change your mind. It actually shows that you're like open-minded and you're ready to learn. Because if you think you know everything, then, you know, your learning capacity is going to be a lot less.
I was thinking about it this morning, randomly. Literally nothing ever stays the same. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards.
If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards.
Yeah, because literally nothing can stay the same.
Yeah.
Nothing ever stays the same. So if you're not moving forward, you're moving
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and like that's dope. That even goes just to like every day when we talk about doing baby steps. Like,
Exactly.
I was just on like a horseshit bender. Like, I like being on. I was really starting to make some headway with like flexibility. I was doing yoga every day. I was eating fairly clean. Wasn't partying much because we were quarantined. Then I go to Utah. I'm eating fucking Arby's, eating chicken tenders. I'm drinking till failure.
McDonald's for breakfast.
Doing whatever drugs I want to do.
How good is Arby's, man?
Arby's is a sleeper. I was sleeping
Yikes.
on it. But even that, like, we took to me, it's about balance. Like, I weigh the pros and cons of it. Like, going and doing what I need to do there, like, outweighs staying healthy and staying on this path I was on. And you kind of take the loss, but you also take the wins from that. And then you come back, and now I feel like I'm motivated to get healthy again because I was just not healthy for an extended period of time. But that goes to your point of like, moving forward, even if you're just taking small steps forward, at some point, you're going to turn back and be like, yo, we came a long way.
Yeah.
Our career feels like that. It's been baby steps the whole time. So could definitely relate to that. But yeah, I mean, what else we were just talking about the Black Lives Matter thing. I mean, yeah, in closing, just dive back in on yourself, and if you're not racist, then it doesn't pertain to you, But I think this is a cool way of maybe sharing it with people too. It's just like, even if your mom is racist, like maybe she has like a real, she doesn't have a real reason, but maybe she had this bad experience, and clearly someone in her life like planted that seed and nourished that seed. So it's like, play that clip for her. Just be like, does that pertain to us? Like, do we really think that still,
They say that everyone's one event away from being racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if something happens to you, like,
Hey, look, it's human nature, man. Like, shit, man. Like, I've had, I've just had bad experiences with all races. Like, it's, it was never a thing. But I understand how those seeds get planted. And I understand where it comes from, because we're already coming from a privileged supremacy. We came from a supremacy standard. These people were enslaved. You know what I mean? So it's like, clearly we're heading in the right direction. We just had a fucking black president, man, for 8 years. But it doesn't nullify the fact that there's just like a lot of active racism still. The fucking cop shit is fucked up too. And I'm close with cops, someone in my family. I really like the guy a lot, love him. It's been amazing, but there's something about the cops thing in America that has just gotten away from us, it feels like. It's gotten away from like what it's supposed to be, and it's one of those things where I feel like a lot of them don't even really realize
it
that
doesn't feel like protect and serve.
we're like in a police state. Like, we're not, it feels like the cops come and they escalate it. And they're like, yo, like they're like, yo, we're getting these fuckers off the streets. Like, I get it, but like, aren't you supposed to kind of de-escalate? And like, if a guy's sleeping on the side of the road and he was drunk and he's pulled over and he's sleeping, probably let that guy rock. Like, you know what I mean? Get him a little ride home. He did the right thing. Like,
Right.
Instead, the guy dies. Like, and yes, he did a lot of shit that he shouldn't have done. But like, what I'm saying is, you have to expect the people who are amateurs in these situations to do amateur shit. The cops are supposed to be the ones that like, yeah, this guy's yelling in my face and threatening me. But like, that's what the public's gonna do, man. Like, you're in their space. Their freedom is about to be jeopardized. They're panicked.
Right.
So as a cop, like, how does no one understand? Like, I'm not even saying that there's not tons of cops that do de-escalate, because there are. But what I'm saying is, like, just seeing the videos over and over again, I'm just like, this is so wrong, and it's gotten away from the fundamentals of like what it's supposed to be. And I think it's really dope that like a lot of changes are being made from just protesting and doing shit, like people getting arrested for the shit that they should get arrested for. So I don't know. I mean, the cop shit, look, there's a lot of cops that listen to me, are fans of me. Bro, I appreciate what cops do and what they bring to the community. I mean, it's like what gives you a peace of mind to live. But I do think they've taken it way too far in a lot of cases. And it's time to be like, that's like kind of what we said about the race thing. Just like, let's evaluate what we're doing as a nation from the police state, and just be like, okay, we've clearly gotten out of hand here. Like, look at the numbers in other places, bro. Like our fucking police murders and like all the brutality cases, they're so much higher in the U.S. than like everywhere else in the world. Like there's so much more, and it's crazy to see that. So it's just time for change. I think we're right in the middle of it. So it's actually an inspiring time. It's an inspiring time to be around, as much as it's kind of sucked in its own way. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that are in the trenches from it.
I feel like we're poised for legitimate change, though.
Yeah.
Like systemic change. I feel like it's right. It's right here.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope to be around for it. It's not going to be pretty. But
when is it ever?
Yeah, exactly. It's growing pains. It's not, it's not the opposite. So
Also have to mention that the most American person I've ever met was born in Mexico and sitting right next to us.
Yeah, you are American.
Like
Fuck.
he is the single-handedly most country-loving.
Yeah.
Like, go USA.
Hardest working.
Hardworking.
Like what you want Americans to be like, and like to our president, like he's a risk and like shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like
he can't leave the country.
He can't leave the country. And
well, he can leave the country. He just can't come back.
If they knew this guy or hung out with him for 1 second, they would know how crazy that is. And that's kind of my point about the whole fucking thing. It's just like, there's just a lot. Like, there's got to be a time where as a people or as like a race, human race, just like start understanding how trivial these things we care about are. There's a lot of human elements that are of our evolution that suck. There's a lot of great parts of our evolution, but the shit we care about nowadays is, on a mass scale, is pretty misguided. But man, fuck. There's a book. I just started reading it. It's called Abundance. And it's essentially, I'll just throw it out there. I think everyone should read it, especially people who are trending like negative or thinking negatively about what's going on. Like, bro, he has a whole book more or less proving that like we're living in a state of abundance as an overall race. We're trending toward where everything is positive in regards to looking back 10 years, looking back another 10 years, looking back another 10 years. Like, things are improving. We're evolving in a great way overall. Yes, there's downs, but that's essentially what he's saying is like the media paints this negative picture. It's what gets attention, but there's there's actually way more shit to celebrate about what's going on in life. So it's interesting. It's just I wanted to read it because I wanted to feel that way. I wanted, look around, you see a lot of negativity. I want to read shit that's actually debunking that negativity. I just started, but I think it's going to be dope. Sachi is catching a wave with some things out there.
Man.
The girls are beautiful in Utah. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Dude, how about that night with Sachi? We were at the castle. Sachi was talking to that girl. And literally, like in the course of 10 minutes, maybe 15 different people came up to them and told them how good of a guy Sachi was.
Really?
And how lucky the girl was.
She's probably like, what the fuck?
Sachi, you gotta tell the story.
She was probably super
Can you give me a lighter?
super rattled, probably.
You gotta tell the story from the jump.
What happened?
So I'm talking to this girl and then
What crib was that?
at the castle.
The second,
The second night. We're just like hanging out and then just like talking. And all of a sudden, like Charlie like rolls by and he's like, "Hey, you talking to this guy? Oh my God, this guy's the greatest guy in the whole entire world." Right? And then I'm like, "Ah, thanks, man, whatever." And then like Foley rolls by and then he's like, oh, this guy right here, greatest guy in the whole entire world. And I was like, oh, thanks, boy. And then you were next. You come up, literally, like, you're like, this guy right here, oh, greatest guy in the whole world. So then
She's probably like, what kind of scam are you guys running?
And then literally, like, 2 minutes later after you came, Post's, like, engineer guy walks by. It doesn't say one thing. Like,
Nick?
Yeah, and, like, kind of, like, ignores me. But I know he remembered me, kind of. But then, like, literally 2 seconds later, like, runs back and he's like, oh my God, you're wearing a hat. I didn't recognize you. Yo, I'm so sorry. What up? What's good? And then he said, yo, this guy right here, this guy right here, greatest guy in the whole world.
I love that.
He was probably like, what the fuck's going on?
She's probably like, I need to fuck this guy immediately. What the hell's this guy got?
Oh, man. It was the funniest thing ever. So, that's my little story.
Oh, it's good stuff.
It was good stuff.
But it's good stuff,
Great
man.
stuff.
Yeah.
Were there any announcements that Steve's brother Kevin made that can be shared? I know there was some pretty he made like some really good speeches or any tidbits that you remember that can be shared?
Yeah. I mean, probably can't. Probably not for me to share, but yeah. Nah, he was
great speech
I mean,
guy.
dude, how about the fucking the birthday gift?
Oh my God,
right.
we got to talk about that.
Shit went viral. Your video, the one you took.
Yeah, it's fucking got zero credit for it. They were every blog treated me like they were you and didn't tag me in anything.
Yeah, because it was your account. I mean, I'm used to not getting credit. I'm always in the videos. They're just like, Post Malone and friend win 100K playing beer pong. What the fuck was I just saying? Oh, the
Cigarettes.
dude. So I'm like fucked up. We're at a party. What's fucked up is I was at 4 different houses over this span of time. Like they were all fly, but like, well, actually 3. But then we were going to the castle again, so it was like felt like 4 again. Beginning, I went to the castle, then the crib near Post, which is fire. You fuck with that house?
His house?
Yeah, the one across from Post.
Oh, it was cool. Yeah,
It's not like the one at the mountains.
The best one was the one in Park City.
Yeah, then we went to the one. Then I called it Stevenson Ranch, Utah chapter. I called my manager. I was just like, bro, I gotta bring my boys out here. We gotta run it up. Like, I'm gonna get a crib. Just bring my studio out here because we were just working at his at the time, and there was just nights he was getting tattoos, and it's like his crib. So like I want to be working, just vibing. So Versace drove the studio out, and we started rocking. The boys came out, but this third crib was fire. What was it? What was it titled on the thing? It was like Ski Lodge to the Stars on Airbnb or whatever the fuck we got it.
No idea, never saw it.
That's what it was. It was something like that, like Movie Star Lodge or some shit like that. Some name.
That's what it fucking felt like.
It felt like that. It was a fucking wave. But yeah, so I'm like fucked up, and I'm playing beer pong with Post. This was like right in the middle of our run, and I was like, man, this fucking guy. I mean, the dude smokes just never-ending cigarette. As soon as it's out, popping another one. But yeah, like especially when we're partying. So he's just like, yeah, like I see him like not want to give people cigs. They come up and they're like, yo, let me get a cigarette, and they're just like girls like trying to flirt with him, and he's actually getting pissed. He's like, these are my cigarettes. You know what I mean? But he's giving it to him. But I could tell. I just know him. So I'm like, man, I know his birthday's coming up. I'm like, that's the gift. Just an absurd amount of cigarette. What we get, like $5,000, whatever it was. Yeah. $5,000 worth of cigarettes, and just like the joy that when we showed him and he opened it, like the joy. Like he's a guy it's almost impossible to buy a gift for because he has all this, he has insane amounts of liquid cash. He get whatever he wants, but he has like this crazy taste of shit. So he has all this like really exotic shit already. Yeah. Like everything he's got is like exotic and like one of ones and all this shit. So it's like, he's borderline impossible, but somehow we got the right gift. And it was, I want to add, it was I was on a certain wave to even like be like, oh, yep, that's the gift. And then I go right to Versace and I'm like, yo, buy it. And then 2 days later, it's there. You know what I mean? Where like, I actually think a lot of times when I'm on a wave, I like make better, like the rash decisions I make are actually great. You know what I mean? I like loved that decision the next day when I was like, oh yeah, that's a hilarious gift, and it was the right gift.
Also, just to let you know, if you want to buy 7,000 cartons of cigarettes, like not cartons, but packets of cigarettes, it's pretty hard. Like you can't just go to a gas station and be like,
Oh,
"Yo,
yeah,
I
I know.
need like 7,000."
Yeah.
People like look at you kind of weird, and they're like, "Oh, is this for a business?" And you're like,
Yeah, they think you're
"No,
reselling.
This is personal use." So then we had to find this. We actually found a Costco that carried tobacco, and
Sachi just gets it done.
me and Foley went, and the lady was like, "Oh, we got told there we couldn't grab it either because we didn't have a store. We just told her it was for personal use."
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of rattled, and she's like, "I have to grab it for you." So then that happened. Paid it all in cash and got out of there.
Got out.
Everyone was like,
Dude, she
watching.
was rattled. She was like, "Do you guys have a reseller's ID?" I'm like, no, it's personal. We had to tell her literally. We had to look her in the eye like 4 times, and each tell her
It's personal.
it's personal use.
Oh man.
There's no way she bought it, but she let it rock.
But yeah, there's no way she did. Just say post. She'd be like, oh, okay. But yeah, yeah, he was so happy with the gift. So it was great. I genuinely wonder how long it lasts. How long it lasts, you think, Versace?
I mean, so me watching him like smoke,
You also seen him at a highest capacity when he's like
but
partying
he
and
smokes
shit.
a lot. Like
Yeah, he
I
does.
want to say like if he goes like through 5 of those, like at least one night he's just going through fucking so many of them because I'm literally throwing boxes at him. He'll be like, "Yo, give me another one." So I'm like literally throwing like boxes and smokes to him, and then like literally
But like, mind you, we're all taking cig. Like,
Yeah,
once we bought them,
Of course.
we were all.
oh yeah,
That was like part of my reasoning because I would take him too. Like one, I don't even like cigarettes. Like
Yeah,
but
same.
if I'm on a certain fucking tidal wave and I'm just playing beer pong with the dude for fucking 5 hours, he's just chain smoking ciggies in my face.
once you give him the
I
present,
might
though,
I might as well rip it.
once I did notice that once those ciggies came out, like every single person in that whole house
Everyone's
was
like,
smoking. They
"Yes."
were all ripping ciggies. Dude.
everyone-
the whole house was just like chain smoking. That house probably reeked
I just
like
put myself.
smoke.
I literally just put myself through like the party Olympics up there because like, you're training at a high altitude.
Yeah, man.
Like it's a hard place to rage continuously. I feel like I'm ready for war.
Every time I took the stairs, I felt like I ran 5 miles.
Yeah.
Cause like I like take the stairs briskly,
Yeah.
if not like run.
I used the elevator.
Sorry about
Honestly, I didn't use the elevator until the very last day just to move my bags.
I used that was my whole trick. I would bring girls in there. I would be like, "Hey, what's going on? You want to check out the house?" And then I'd be like, "We got an elevator."
I already know. Yeah.
And then boom, bring in the elevator. This
Oh,
house
it
is
just
sick.
stopped.
And then
Oh, we're stuck.
going downstairs to the room. Oh, downstairs. Okay.
What was I gonna say?
That fucking movie theater.
Dude, I'm talking like after that trip, I need to start skiing
Yeah. Yo, it's only 6 bands a night in the winter.
in the winter. I heard it was like 15.
Someone said I looked it up. I looked it up to go
Yeah, I
look.
think you said it was like 15,000. So I told Foley about it. And he's like,
I think what happens is when the winter comes around and it's booked up, that's where their price goes. But if you buy now, you get it for 6,000. When you go check in the winter, it'll be up there.
Probably last minute bookings are usually more.
"You guys ever been
expensive.
skiing?"
Yeah, I mean like even like just like in winter months, like
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I was looking like literally at Christmas.
But that place in the winter, that shit's probably a fucking wave. Going to the bars too.
dude, the bars at the base where we would pick
we
up
went
that
to yeah,
food,
we went to pick up food and the bars were popping.
pop in, bro.
Sheesh.
During coronavirus too.
Yeah, it's Republican County out there. I don't give a fuck.
Most people were wearing masks.
Yeah, but they were still raging.
I mean,
their
dude,
dingies off.
we got to talk about this. We'll probably end on this or in this ballpark. We don't want to end on a negative.
Should we drop
subject.
keep going masks?
Maybe. Dude, the fuck is going on with the coronavirus, bro? Like, dude, I was fucking quarantined. Like, I was really quarantined. Then this motherfucker, like, looking at leadership, bro. Like, no matter, again, if you're blue, you're red, or independent, whatever you think, you have to be upset with the leadership on this. Like, you look, everywhere else in the world is, like, almost done with it. And our shit's booming.
Dude, New York's
We're going to lose our whole fucking year. Like,
New York did a great job of fucking. They rallied. They're almost ready. They're like.
oh really?
New York has done a really good job of like.
Oh, I didn't know.
Slow rolling it.
So is it only in certain places? I thought the whole country's fucking booming.
Basically everywhere except for New York.
Wow.
The one place because
That will change,
New York
though.
had to take it really fucking seriously.
That will
and
change
still
though. Are they open?
Yeah, but like slow rolling it, like not like.
Yeah, but it's just New York. Yeah, how are they doing that? Either way, like I don't even know. Like what? No matter what you think, like tons of people are dying.
Get that lighter.
Tons of people are dying, and fucking
Should have just left.
the end of the really like no, all of our lives are being kind of put on halt for this shit. So it's like, man, we gotta get it together. I mean, what I'm saying is like, I went out to Utah and I was just fucking with whatever around strangers again because I'm looking around and you know states are opening up. The president's telling us we have to open up. It's all you know like. I'm looking, everyone I know is out doing shit. I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm not going near older people. I'm not putting other people in jeopardy. I haven't gone near an older person. But at the same time, like now I'm just like, I'm looking at the numbers again and I'm like, are we supposed to be completely quarantined again? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just confused about the whole fucking thing. I'm sure a lot of you guys are.
In Utah, when you guys were partying, there's no corona involved. Everyone was just not giving a shit.
Not one
Everyone-
thought to it.
I mean, I was definitely thinking about it, but I just got tested and I'm fucking in the clear.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't give one thought to it. Not
People
one.
were just ripping jewels with each other, just passing them.
Everyone
back and
was.
forth.
Everyone was smoking, drinking, fucking playing beer pong. Like,
Fucking sharing jewels, drinking, fucking.
yeah, there's a lot of exchanges. But man, let's keep it positive. I'm literally a mess. Look at me. I've been covered in weed and ash this entire time.
Welcome to my life.
Unreal.
Backwards fucking debacle. I've milked that thing.
Pause.
Yeah. Anyways, it's not gonna end on that. It's not gonna end on a negative ass note. But let's just try to put our heads together here and just make sure we can get through this sometime soon. Like, do we want to? I would love to be able to go play shows again sometime and fucking just go see people and go talk to people and engage. Like, I miss that side of life for sure. So, and Utah was like so nice because it was like, oh, it was back to normal, you know? And you come back and it's like, it's not. So let's just try to.
The idea. What go say?
I'm ready to drive the van wherever you want.
Can we go back to Utah?
I feel comfortable just throwing the studio in the van at this point, anywhere, and I can install it now and just drive wherever. It has
Yeah.
to be in the state.
Dude,
though.
should we get a fucking bus? Should we get like a fucking RV or something with like enough beds and just fucking go? We could go literally set up wherever.
Yeah, we could. Chubbs.
Dude, doesn't have to.
Cut it out.
It could be like for a couple weeks.
Chubbs is so horny. Why is he so horny for?
I mean, dude, he's been locked up with me for fucking. This is the first time he's
Chubbs,
seen a
fucking
dog.
take
in like
it
a month.
easy,
so
broski.
fucking horny.
I mean, they always try and fuck.
Hey, Steve. Come here.
Steve's got this fucking bandana around your neck.
Steve's like, what
around
the
his neck. What does he expect?
Steve's like, what? Yeah, Steve's
Begging
pretty,
for it.
Steve's swag's crazy right now.
Steve's like,
Chubbs can't get enough of it. Look,
Steve, why you looking at my face, dude?
you got now trying to get three-way makeouts. I feel like it's a Stud Summer Tour 2014.
I feel like I'm back in
Where's
Utah.
Kilmer?
Back in Utah all over again.
Oh man. All right. Well, it's good to be back. Big Daddy's back on the pod. We're back rolling. I mean, look, are we supposed to, I want to have guests again. Like, when are we doing? I can't do that yet, can I? Not in LA.
No.
The fuck, Chubbs. Chubbs got a half chub over here too.
It's a fuck fest over here.
It is a fuck fest, dude. You guys,
Steve's just trying to get away from Chubbs as much as possible.
Steve, what are you doing, bud? What are you doing? Come here.
Hey, bud.
This whole thing feels weird now. Oh man. Yeah, Steve's swag is crazy. Chubbs can't even take it right now.
In between two dogs.
Steve got too much sauce.
Oh, man.
All
All right.
Yeah. Appreciate you. We're over and we're out.